In this video, we're going to use patterns to add and subtract integers. Thus far, we have only added and subtracted single-digit integers. Now we will use the ideas developed in this lesson to add and subtract larger numbers. We will follow the protocol below. So if we're given a subtraction problem, we're going to rewrite it as an addition problem, and then we're going to use the rules for addition to add the signed numbers as summarized below. So when you're adding two numbers with the same sign, you add their absolute values, keep the common sign of the number. If you're adding two numbers that have different signs, basically you find the absolute value of the numbers, you're going to take the difference between the numbers, and then the sign of your answer is going to be the original sign of the number with the larger absolute value. So let's take a look at some examples. So parts A and B, this is a sum of two positive numbers, and this is a difference of two positive numbers. So we're going to find these values, and once we've found these values, we can actually find all of these results. All of these sums or differences are going to be the results of these two problems, either a positive or a negative. So let's see how this works. So we'll start with 308 plus 275. We're going to add using place value. 8 plus 5 is 13 ones, so we'll keep 3 ones and carry 1 10. Now we have 1 plus 7 tens is 8 tens, and 3 plus 2 hundreds is 500. So our sum is 583. Now let's find this difference. 308 minus 275. 8 minus 5 is 3. We can't subtract 7 from 0 without using negative numbers, so we're going to borrow from the hundreds place, take 100. 100 is 10 tens, so I'm going to put a 1 in front of this 0. Now we have 10 tens minus 7 tens is 3 tens, and 2 hundreds minus 2 hundreds is 0. So our result here is 33. So let's start on the left with our addition problems. So notice that both of these numbers are negative. So if they're both negative, we're going to find the sum of the absolute values. So the absolute values is 308 and 275. It doesn't matter which way we add them, which is why it's nice to rewrite these as addition problems. These were addition already, but we'll rewrite these as addition. And since these were both negative, our result is negative. Now we have these same two numbers, but the first one's negative, the second one's positive, and we're adding. So that means we need to find the difference of the numbers, which we already found, the difference of the absolute values, which is 33. And now see which one has the larger absolute value, which is 308. So the absolute value of negative 275 is 275. So sometimes I think of these rather than finding the absolute value, just look at the numbers without their sign. So 275, 308. 308 is bigger, it's positive, so we have 33. Now here we have the same situation. We're adding. The numbers have different signs. This is positive, this is negative. So we use the difference of 33. And to determine the sign of the result, the larger absolute value, well, 308 is bigger than 275. 308 is negative, so the result is negative 33. Okay, so these are actually all the addition combinations we could possibly have with two numbers. This was two positives, two negatives. In both cases, add the absolute values, keep the sign of the numbers. These were one positive and one negative. In both cases, subtract the numbers and keep the sign of the larger absolute value. Here it was positive, here it was negative. Now let's look at the subtraction problems. So if we start these by rewriting as addition, remember you keep the first number, that stays the same. You change subtraction to addition, and you change the sign of the second number. So negative 308 we're going to write as positive 308, and we usually omit the positive sign. Well, notice 275 plus 308, that's what we found up here. It didn't matter what order we wrote it in. So the result here is 583. Let's rewrite this subtraction problem as addition. Okay, so the first number stays the same. Do nothing to the first number. Change subtraction to addition. Change the sign, take the opposite of the second number. So this was negative, so I'm going to write a positive. So now we're adding two numbers with different signs. So we take the difference, which is 33. The larger number in absolute value is 308, and that's positive, so our answer is positive 33. Notice these two are equivalent. Once you rewrite this as an addition problem, it's the same problem as this. And finally here, we have a subtraction problem. We keep the first number. Okay, now this is subtraction, change it to addition. Notice 308 is positive, okay, because that's a subtraction sign, but when we change it to addition, we're going to think of it as adding negative 308. Well, now we are adding two numbers with the same sign, so we add their absolute values, which is 583. Both of the numbers are negative, so our sign is negative. So notice this subtraction problem is equivalent to this addition problem.